This mech was made entirely in Blender, and by the end of this series, you will be able to make one too, because instead of learning Blender the boring way, you are going to learn it by building your very own first mech. So let's start with the first skill every creator needs, understanding the Blender Workspace. This is the window that every great animator has seen at least once, and you are about to join the list. This is the main screen called the 3D viewport, and you will be living here for the rest of your Blender journey. There are also many small windows present here: the outliner, properties panel, the main timeline, and a tools panel as well. We will learn them as we need them in the upcoming episodes, but for now, let's focus on the 3D viewport. Also, any key I press will be shown here along with the My Mouse buttons. First thing you want to do is to be able to move around this 3D scene, and to do this, you need to press your middle mouse button on your mouse and move your mouse, and this will allow you to orbit around in your 3D space. Apart from this, you can also press Shift plus middle mouse button to perform this pan movement on your 3D space. And say you want to zoom on this cube, you can simply use your scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. Now let's say I want to work with this light here. I can select it by clicking on it with my left mouse button and press slash on my keyboard to completely shift my focus to this object. Now light object will be visible to us and all other things present in the viewport will be hidden. This is useful when you have a complex scene and you want to just focus on a very specific individual thing. To get out of this mode as well, we can simply press again slash and get out of it. Now say I just want my view to be centered on this light object, we can press del key on the numpad and here we center a line with the light. Now let's see more about selecting objects. So you can left click on any object to select them like we did with the light objects. You can also select multiple objects like selecting this cube first and then pressing shift and clicking on this camera object. The interesting thing to observe here is the color of our selected objects. The cube has a bit dark color outline on it compared to the light outline on the camera object. This is because Blender has two types of ways to define selections: active selection and the one with the light color, which is the camera in our case, and the inactive selection, the cube in this case. The active object will be always the last selected object. This will become very useful when we will rig our character in the future. Now, if you have a lot of objects in your viewport, you can simply left click drag on the screen and select all the objects inside the selection window. And if you want a particular object to be the active object, we can simply select it and it becomes the active object. Now whenever you start a Blender project, you don't want a camera and light to be always there. So you can select them and simply press the X or delete key on your keyboard and select delete to remove those objects. Also, let's complete the Blender ritual of deleting the default cube. Here we go. Now there is also ways to add objects. Press Shift A to open the add menu. This is a lot of things that can be added to the scene. Let's add back the cube in our scene. Also, let's add this monkey named Suzanne to our scene. But as you can see, Suzanne is inside the cube. One way to bring Suzanne out is to delete the cube. But let's not delete it. You can press Ctrl Z to undo the last action and bring back the cube. The other way around is moving Suzanne herself. This can be done by selecting our Suzanne and pressing G on the keyboard, the shortcut for grab, and this will allow you to move Suzanne. Once you like where she is, you can left mouse click to let the grab go. Now let's assume I want the Suzanne to look at us. We can select Suzanne and press R on our keyboard to rotate Suzanne. This will allow you to rotate Suzanne in the plane that you are viewing. You can change the view, rotation will change. Another way to rotate is to press R and then press R again to enter free rotate mode. This can be a bit hard at first, but once you are familiar with this becomes your default way of rotating. We also have an option to change the size of our Suzanne by pressing S out on a keyboard to scale her. All these operations of grab, rotate and scale are called transformations. Let's put her back into the smaller size and look at these red and green lines out on our screen. These represent the X and Y axes. There is also a blue line that represents the Z axis, which is not currently visible. Normal transformations allow you to freely transform like grab. But if you want Suzanne to move in a very particular axis, say the X axis, we can select Suzanne and press G to grab her and then press X to lock her into the X axis, and now we can very precisely move her along the X axis. Similarly, Y and Z can be pressed to lock along the Y and Z axis respectively. Other transformations like rotate and scale can also be applied along with a particular axis. Here, let's give our Suzanne a Chad look. Nice. So let's end this explosion here. So by now you have learned to navigate the 3D workspace. In the next episode, we will be finally starting to model our mecha. Good blending.